Hey, what's going on, folks? It's CJ here with another movie review. It's going to be a bit of a quick one here. I am going to be talking about this new Netflix movie that just came out, The Old Guard. It's based off of a comic book written by Greg Rucka. It's directed by Gina Prince-Bythewood, who you probably know as the director of Love and Basketball, and starring Charlize Theron, Kiki Lane, Chiwetel Ejiofor, Harry Melling. I think was it and Marin Kazan. At any rate, this is an interesting film, and I say interesting because in this age of comic book movies and such, me personally, I'm a fan of the Marvel Cinematic movies, some of the DC films that came out, and even some of the movies that are based on comic books and stuff that really you would never know unless you were told. Stuff like History of Violence and Road to Perdition and things like that. Uh, and the general premise of this movie is that you have these group of immortals led by Andy, who that's the character Charlize Theron is playing. Andy, much like the other three immortals that she's with, they've lived a life of just different identities, going through all these different wars, helping people and things like that. And I think the interesting aspect of it is that she when we meet her at the beginning of this movie, she's seeing where society is at right now and is in just utter chaos that she's just fed up with it all, to a degree. And not in a way that you would think, but just kind of like, is there a point to it all? Is there a point to just, what is the point of living out here, as an immortal and such? And she runs afoul of Chiwetel Ejiofor's character, Copley, who's working alongside this pharmaceutical scientist, Merrick, who pretty much, sees the immortals as a way of, at least on Merrick's side of things, as a way of making money and helping people and such, mainly on the making money side and stuff. Typical things that you would assume out of a pharmaceutical company. Um, Within all that, one of the characters, Nile, played by Kiki Lane, she's a military vet. She's a military personnel who ends up being killed during them trying to take down a terrorist and such. And she's kind of like, you can say, the audience character, kind of like we're seeing the movie from her perspective once she joins the other immortals proper. And she's just like anybody else. She's immortal and she doesn't know what the hell this means. This just kind of tearing up her life and such. And the movie just kind of follows these characters, and you really get a bit of a deeper look into these characters big time. I think one of the biggest things that I personally liked about this movie, and I think you guys would like it, is the fact that it's not typical of what you expect out of it. I mean, if you've seen the trailer for The Old Guard, you would figure, oh, it's going to be nonstop action, and the plot's going to be probably paper thin and stuff. And that's not the case here. When the action beats hit, they hit and they work and they're great and they're phenomenal. It definitely has a very much a John Wick feel to them in terms of how they're shot. Andy, Charlize and Kiki, especially, they do a fucking fantastic job and stuff. There's one section of the movie where Niall and Andy, they're fighting on a plane, and it's fucking shot very great. You're kind of, if you're used to thinking that it's going to be like shaky cam, it's not. Like, you see them both fighting, you see them throw the kicks, throw the punches and everything, and it looks great. But the movie is not crazy action centric as you would think. And what you get is a very dramatic movie with a lot of action beats kind of spread out and such, which I think it works great. Because this could have been an hour and a half movie where you didn't really care about them being immortal. You just want to see them shoot up, kill people, and they're immortal so they can't die. Like, no, there is a lot of things at stake, and I think that was great. So what I mean by the dramatic side of things is that you get a lot of humanity out of these immortals. Whether it's Andy, whether it's Niall, even past them, Booker, Joe, Nikki. These are five people, four of them who have been, now being a new immortal, but Andy, Booker, Joe, and Nikki, they've been through it all for a long time, and you see the toll it takes on them mentally and stuff, because you have people, they have to do all these different identities over the years and such, and they're alone, and they kind of form this tight knit group as a family, and they really can't have that kind of regular life and get attached to other people like that, you know? And it's a shame, and I think the movie does a phenomenal job of that, especially on Andy's side of things, where you see how this takes a huge toll on her. And then now you have Now joining in, and Andy's just kind of like, oh boy, here's this new person that's joining in, and she's just trying to make the most of all this and such. And I think was also great too is that Chiwetel Ejiofor's character, Copley, he's not what you think it is. I'm not going to really go too deep on his character so much, but there's definitely a lot of layers to him. He's not typical bad guy per se and such. I'll say that much. Because I like the dichotomy between him and Merrick, where they're both working for each other, but they both have different viewpoints on how to go about this. They have a different idea of what to do with these immortals and such. Copley has his whole thing of what he sees with them, but Merrick, like I said before, he's a pharmaceutical scientist. He just sees money. And I think it creates definitely a big balance and stuff and very realistic of what you expect out of society if they saw immortal people. And I think that's credit to one, Greg Rucka's writing, and it also credit to Gina's directing style. And I think it worked in the fact that she's using Greg's Bible for the comic and is able to also bring a sense of you care about these characters. They're not just paper thin characters. And the way the movie is shot and we're seeing all these moments and stuff, it just works. The music is great. The cinematography is on point. Like I said, when you see the fighting, the camera is shot back so you can actually see, there's a scene where Andy's fighting a bunch of police people, SWAT team people and stuff, and she's murking them with a freaking damn axe and stuff, and you see her as she's killing these guys. And like I said, it's great. And I like I said, credit to the cast, because like I said, at the end of the day, you care about these characters. And also the thing lastly about this movie is that there is a element of world building that this movie does. So while it could have easily been a one-off movie where it's like, oh, hey, cool, it's based off a comic and stuff, there's some world building to where by the time you get to the end of the movie, you can see them doing a sequel to this, which I would definitely like to see. Because like I said, there's so much that you can do in this movie that could work. And I think that like I genuinely, this is something that I would kind of have to imagine, could this be in theaters? And I think in this new world that we're in right now with the coronavirus and all that stuff, it's great that we're actually able to see this movie on Netflix and be able to just get access to it and stuff. And like I said, the movie is just great top to bottom. Like I said, small little nitpicks here and there, but like nothing too crazy and stuff. But like I said, everybody is great. And I think, like I said, Charlize and Kiki, they really do the damn thing. And they really are the big standouts of the movie and stuff. And like I said, all the other actors, they do a phenomenal job. And I think, again, that's credit to the writing, credit to the directing and how they went about this and stuff. The screenplay, everything is just solid top to bottom. So I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely check this out. I definitely can't wait to see more of this from this group. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm also going to put out on the audio version of this review. I actually have an interview that I did with Gina and Kiki. That's going to be, if you're listening to the audio side of this, 10-minute interview, pretty quick and such. That I'm going to put at the beginning of the audio version of this review. So if you get a chance to, definitely check out the audio version, 10-minute interview, pretty quick, nothing too crazy. And yeah, that's it, 8.5 out of 10. Definitely go check out The Old Guard, and we'll catch you later. Peace.